Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. On this channel, you can discover the new things on the world. What the special thing today I would like to show you. Now we go.
The biggest crocodile ever measured in the world. Lolong is the largest crocodile ever measured. Measured at 20 feet and 3 inches and weighed 2,370 pounds, Lolong was the largest crocodile in captivity. He was also the biggest crocodile ever measured from snout to tail. Lolong was an Indo-Pacific or saltwater crocodile. Australian crocodile expert Dr. Adam Britton notes one sedated and measured Lolong in his enclosure in November 2011 and confirmed him as the world's longest crocodile ever caught and placed in captivity. He was caught in a Bunawan Creek in the province of Agusan del Sur in the Philippines on the 30th of September 2011. He was captured with the joint cooperation of the local government unit, residents, and crocodile hunters of Palawan. The capture of Lolong. The giant crocodile was hunted over a period of 3 weeks. Once it was found, it took around 100 people to bring him onto land. He became aggressive at several points during the capture and twice broke restraining ropes before eventually being properly secured. He was estimated to be at least 50 years old. Lolong was suspected of eating a fisherman who went missing in the town of Bunawan and also of consuming a 12-year-old girl whose head was discovered 2 years earlier. He was also the primary suspect in the disappearance of seahorses in the area. In the examination of the stomach contents after his capture, remnants of water buffaloes reported missing before Lolong's capture were found, but no human remains. The crocodile was named after Ernesto Lolong Goloran Cañete, one of the veteran crocodile hunters from the Palawan Crocodile and Wildlife Reservation Center who led the hunt. After weeks of stalking, the hunt for Lolong took its toll on Cañete's health. He died of a heart attack several days before the crocodile was captured. A gentle giant. Despite his initial aggressiveness, Lolong was remarkably gentle in his enclosure. Dr. Britton writes, "This shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone familiar with the effects of capturing large crocodiles from the wild. It's a phenomenon called capture myopathy, the shock of being caught, poked, and prodded, and introduced to a completely new and alien environment is a stressful experience, particularly for an animal as large as Lolong, who has been master of his domain for decades. It might seem unusual to think of crocodiles as being susceptible to stress, but they're just like any other vertebrate in that respect, and something that anyone who maintains captive crocodiles should be aware of." The non-governmental organization activist Animal Kingdom Foundation Inc., with the cooperation of People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, had urged the local government of Bunawan to return Lolong to the creek of Barangay Nueva Era, where the gentle giant reptile was captured. But in an ongoing debate, Bunawan Mayor Edwin Cox Elorde and residents of the barangay opposed the crocodile's release, arguing that he will threaten individuals living in the vicinity of the creek. Lolong died in captivity just 18 months later. He was captured at around 8 p.m. on February 10, 2013. His necropsy notes too revealed that he died from congestive heart failure compounded by fungal pneumonia, lipidosis of the liver, and kidney failure. Lolong's death was not caretaker's mistake. According to Dr. Adam Britton, Lolong's enclosure might not look pretty, but in fact, crocodiles in the wild call muddy holes as home. They just look for any kind of shelter and the basic necessities for survival. So, Lolong was provided with those basic necessities. Crocodiles do not eat if they're too stressed, but in Lolong's case, he was eating and seemed to settle down into his new surroundings and behaving normally. Britton also says, anyone who actually met his caretakers would have realized he was well loved. You might say they adored him. He adds, there were also financial incentives to keep Lolong alive. He was popular, brought much money into the community, and generated a lot of national and international attention. So despite his conditions look terrible to an unfamiliar eye, he was well cared. Britton concludes, it would have been an ideal to leave Lolong in the wild. But does such speculative thinking have a place in our overcrowded world? A conflict between humans and wildlife can have major repercussions for conservation, not to mention human safety, which any level-headed human regards as being of prime importance. Yet at the same time, we can't simply remove all wild animals simply because it makes us feel better or safer. There has to be a compromise, and unfortunately for Lolong, he was that compromise at that particular time and place. Perhaps his death can be a lesson for us.
Thanks for your watching this video. May you subscribe to get more new videos. And don't forget like and share my channel. Thank you and have a great time.